What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Road to Making Bank podcast. We've had a recent name change. Luca Bernay with us again, episode 3.
G'day.
Hope you're all going well. How are you going, Luca?
Doing very well. Enjoying this Sunday. We had a great weekend. Some beautiful autumn weather, which I really enjoyed. Been socializing and mingling. Rejuvenating the mind.
Nice.
And the body and the soul. So it's been a pleasant day.
Rejuvenating, yeah. How has that worked, the rejuvenation process?
Well, rejuvenating, nourishing, thinking, having philosophical discussions. And today's session with the natural doctor was about releasing, resetting, and reprogramming. So releasing old emotions.
I need to do that as well. Sounds great. Elaborate.
Releasing old emotions, resetting your emotions, your come back to a neutral state.
Like a great reset.
And then, yeah, exactly. And then reprogram. So bring in new information that, will set you up, build some new foundations, and adapt to the new stage of life that you're in.
Reprogram, absolutely. Awesome, yeah. How'd that go? Just general, it's just a conversation with a naturopath?
Me, he's not a naturopath, natural doctor.
Oh, that's right.
Different, yeah.
It's,
yeah, so different.
Holistic approach, maybe.
Yeah, well, I guess it was more about family today. Family, friends.
So this session was mainly talking, whereas maybe different sessions you do nutrition and stuff as well, or just...
Yeah, it's different topics depending on what seems necessary at the time.
Yeah, sick.
So yeah, it's been good. Then went for a bit of a walk along the beach. With a new friend, and also had some philosophical discussions, which was interesting. So, yeah, it's been a busy day, and it's been good.
Nice, good stuff.
How's your Sunday?
My Sunday, this whole weekend has just been me trying to catch up on my coursework for my options trading course that I've been doing. So, yeah, not very eventful. Just been doing that. I got up early, chilled with a coffee, did my, had a look on Twitter, Instagram, which I don't have on my phone anymore. So kind of indulged for a little bit, drinking a coffee. Got into the course for a few hours, then went to the South Melbourne market. Just, got my usual burek. I got some for dinner as well. Bought some coffee, bought some soap, got the tram home, did the course for another few hours, went for a little walk. The day just disappears, man, when you're doing shit. So I think I'm gonna have a break, have some beers next weekend, and because I'm kind of up to date now. I think I need to let my hair down a little bit, maybe a few beers.
Really?
I haven't really well, we'll see. I don't know. So I've been in a bit of a recovery process since my little accident where I broke my zygomatic arch in my face. So it's been a different way of life for a little while. But I had a meeting with the doctor. It was my last outpatient visit at the hospital, and he pretty much cleared me. So they say 6 weeks. I'm pretty 5 weeks now for being able to put full pressure on it and stuff.
Next week will be 6 weeks.
Yeah, but it feels pretty good now. Just this weird some weird stuff in my mouth, weird hard tissue and stuff, but she'll be right eventually. I think it'll clear up. So yeah, That was my weekend. Not too eventful, but heaps of progress in the course, which is awesome. So, all right. First up, have you any recent observations relating to business and entrepreneurship since our last chat?
I think we may have briefly joked about it last week, but watched the video on it this week. It was more of a, I think it just popped up on my feed. Was the own nothing and you'll be happy line, which is being thrown around by a lot of people at the moment.
Maybe that popped up on your feed because we talked about it, and the microphone on your phone picked it up.
I think it's
And it was
probably
the AI.
more to do with the stuff that I search.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I guess more along the lines of you'll own nothing and be happy, and then that sort of asks the question, well, if you don't own anything, someone does. So does that mean that the people who do own it are less happy, or does that mean that they are happier? Yeah, unless everything becomes sort of free reign and available to everyone, then it obviously means there is still a hierarchy and a prioritization of access and exclusivity.
Yeah, absolutely. The way I look at it there is like we go towards more of a feudalistic kind of system, or just straight up kind of communism. They're generally psychopaths at the top. Isn't like 1% of the population psychopaths or something? And I'm sure. I think the thing with psychopaths is they can be happy, and with be happy with the actions that might cause huge harm to other people, sort of thing. They won't feel guilt and stuff. That's what I'm assuming.
This is the other
I've heard
thing.
that before.
I was in we were out for a mate's birthday drinks yesterday afternoon, and we ended up going to a bar later in the evening, and I was grabbing some drinks for myself and a friend, and in that time while I was standing at the bar, the music stopped and there was a fight that broke out on the dance floor. And my mate was...
I haven't seen a fight in ages.
My mate was in the middle of it, and he said he was standing next to a guy. No. He was standing next to a guy, and the guy standing next to him got king hit out of nowhere.
Oh, so it could have been him.
Like
it could have been him that got hit. Yeah.
Yeah, and then a fight just broke out, and then a second fight broke out between some other people.
Mm.
And so when you say there's psychopaths at the top, are there psychopaths at the top, or do we see people in our communities?
Absolutely.
And then we assume that those people are the same people that are at the top, controlling things, if you want to say it that way. I mean, perhaps it's just that they're on a different level that we can't relate to. They have more knowledge. They have more of an understanding of, they can see from the top down what's happening. And maybe we just assume that they're psychopaths because we can't justify their actions in any other way. But it might not be necessarily that they're psychopaths. It might just be that they have more information than we do. And maybe if we knew as much as they do, we'd actually make the same decision, perhaps. And I guess my other point is psychopaths aren't just at the top, because there's people in your own community, in our communities, at the very bottom as well, that behave erratically, irrationally, committing, murders against each other, against their neighbors, friends, family. So it's not just at the top that people might be psychopaths. It's also at the bottom and in the middle. So maybe the difference is that they have maybe a different perspective on life than the average person, and so maybe that's why they're a variable or considered psychopaths. I don't know necessarily the psychology behind it all.
Mm.
But I suppose that's just another perspective.
Yeah, I think what you've said is pretty much true. I can make a good comparison, I'll let you know. But yeah, it's like, I think power can change people. So that is one differential factor between, someone in the lower economic classes. But yeah, the way I sort of think of it is like, I don't know if it's an analogy, but think of like your year 5 to year 7 class of people, and think of all those people in that class, and you've seen them when you think of a high school class as well, but you've seen them, when they're the type of people they are, sort of in their kind of purest form, uncorrupted form, sort of thing. And there's the dudes that shat themselves in class and done really stupid bad things and all that, and like, think about it. Would you want anyone from your class or whatever having the power to lock people in their houses, force people to take invasive medical treatments, figure out, assign the price of money, like interest rates, like the RBA does? Would you pick anyone that you went to primary school with that would have the wisdom to be able to make those decisions and like pull them off?
Not if they're a part of any of the things that you just mentioned, because I don't think that any of those people have decision-making power. So if they were a part of that, then they're more. Then I don't really see them as decision makers.
You mean like the people that are making those decisions now, like the politicians and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You're thinking like someone else is pulling the strings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's
but
pretty.
They're facilitating it. I'm saying, so it's like,
I'm saying, like, if McDonald's is a corporation, the government would be like the person at the register taking your order.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
They're like the first point of contact.
Yeah, but there's levels, I guess. They still need to like play ball. So it's like,
they tell you what's on the menu, and they tell you what you get to have for dinner, and you choose what you want, and then you vote for that. That's I'd say that's where they are.
Well, say the people above the government, whether you want to call it, the corporate elite, the deep state, whatever you want to call it, but it's definitely out there. Would you want someone in your class have become one of those people? Would you? I mean, you include the politicians as well. Like any of those two levels, you think anyone is suitable from the people you went to school with to do those kind of roles?
Well, to be honest, I don't really follow politics, and I don't know anything about any politicians, but I've never heard of any politician that in my mind would be worthy of making decisions for an entire nation. Yeah,
so that's kind of the point that I'm making. So it's like, I agree, and it's like people like don't have the capability to make those decisions and like, be generally good at it. Yeah, so I'm generally. I mean, in some circumstances it can work. Some kind of benevolent sort of monarchies or benevolent sort of dictators, but I mean, when I if I do the same thing and I think of some people I went to school with or whatever, they might have got good grades in math and stuff, but like, would I want them calling the shots. It's like, I mean, I'm thinking about it like it's a sample size, right? Like people you go to school with, it's like a completely random sample from people in the community. So it's like, it's a good comparison, or kind of sample size to draw that point from, I guess. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'd also take away. I would say that it's not really a great example because children of that age are still dependent. So their behavior is dependent on what they're fed, if they're fed. What type of home do they have? What type of parenting? Do they have any parents? It's
so people could come more into their own as an adult.
I think so.
And change a lot.
Yeah. And some people might not change at all, and some people might behave a certain way because they're in a particular situation at the time. I know for myself that. I mean, I don't know how much a person's nature changes. So maybe if you can tap in and really identify what nature is, and identify what someone's nature is, then you could identify where they might be beneficial in benefiting themselves and their community. But I wouldn't want to judge someone based on who they were as a child, especially in school that isn't really designed to bring out a child's greatest potential.
Yeah, I guess, well, it's, when you're young, it's that purest form. But you could do that experiment. You could try something different. So say, or everyone you worked with at ANZ Bank.
Yep.
Would you say any of them have, like, you'd be comfortable with any of them making those decisions that we talked about?
I think
Sorry, I guess I'm trying to make the point of these people in power. It's like people think of them really differently. It's like an abstraction sort of thing. Yeah, that's the point I'm trying to make. Anyway, yep, keep going.
Yeah, well, I mean, are you saying that they're not necessarily special? They're just another person that was a part of society?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's fair. But there's also, if I said, all right, I need someone to drive me to the shops, and I've got the choice of picking someone who's been around for 50 years, someone who's 19. Now, the person who's 50 years old may have never driven a car and doesn't have a car license. The person who's 19 has a car and has a license and knows how to drive. I'm not going to pick the 50-year-old because they've been around for longer and they've had more life experience. I'm going to pick the person that can drive me because they're more likely to survive. So the difference between those two people is one has the knowledge and the capability of driving, the other one doesn't. Or it has but doesn't have the skills or the knowledge to do it currently. They have the capacity to learn it, but do they have the capacity to learn it in the 10-15 minutes that I need them to learn it to drive me there? So it's like I said, it's not necessarily, for me it's more, okay, if this person is a member of the community, the average person, I think that they do have the potential to make those decisions if they have a well-rounded knowledge of how the world works. And what that would be based on is, what type of advisors do they have, consultants, people, mentors. It's not just one person working alone and making the decisions. Like any president, any king, anyone in power will always have advisors and people that will give them information, because you're not always you need someone there to, point out the blind spots that you have You need someone there to bring strength to your weaknesses, someone to have your back, someone that you can trust that can share and filter out information for you. So it's probably it's a person that can make decisions accurately, who can process information and who can choose the right people to have around them to make those decisions. And it might not be one person, it might be a group of people. And if there's, let's say, 10 people running the world, and each of those 10 people have 10 people that are their, right-hand people, and then those 10 people have 10 people each, then you've got a pretty big organization of people sort of contributing in terms of knowledge. I don't know what kind of situation it looks like at the top, but
I guess it's ideal if you're going to have that sort of system. You want all those people advising, the smartest people in the room up there. I guess it doesn't really happen with politics generally. But
yeah, I think it's...
You can have that wise king, the wise king sort of stereotype.
Yeah,
But in terms of thinking like, you're choosing someone to drive you, it's kind of... That's, you're making a decision. It's like a kind of free market decision. You're picking out someone with the most expertise due to your choice. And I think that, for me, that sort of system works better than the government telling you who can drive you, or who can, be qualified to drive or whatever. But,
it's a hard one because you've also got, is the system that we have even the best system? Are we better off with, individual states governing themselves? Are we, do we break it down into regions, or do we break it down into suburbs? Like, how low do you go? I think the idea is, Jocko Willink talks about it, is decentralized leadership. So let's say if the government was in control, they have like an overall goal for Australia, and they work towards that goal. Then you'd have the state people that get each state to contribute in a way that moves towards that initial goal. And then you'd have people in the community. You might have teachers,
like councils, and
religious
it's
figures.
kind of like what happens now, right?
Yeah, but it's kind of like everyone has their own belief system, as individuals. So it's about how do we get individuals to come together and maybe come up with something communal. Yeah. And you do have that, but there's so many...
It kind of always goes wrong though. That's the thing, isn't it?
There's so many individuations in groups that it's hard to sort of combine them all.
And then there's that, the whole, like, would you say you support democracy? Like, voting and stuff? Or you don't, do you? Well,
no.
You can explain, yeah.
Yeah, so, I've never...
So I think I don't generally either, yeah.
Yeah. I've never put in a genuine vote. And then last year I was like, why am I even going to vote? I'm only going because if I don't go, then I get a fine.
Did you go to vote?
No, I didn't. I just paid the fine.
Oh, yeah. I think I'll do that from now on.
I was like, okay, well, it's a fine. Some people don't have that, the ability to do that. But it was just a choice I made. I'm like, the only reason I'm voting is because if I don't, then they'll fine me. I'm like, well, now I'll just pay the fine because I don't agree with it.
It's the worst system. Like, it shouldn't be compulsory voting. It shouldn't be, generally for me, it shouldn't be voting at all. So, yeah, I mean, I sort of follow that. The whole idea of democracy, I've kind of like learned some different views about it. And it's like, it's pretty much like mob rule. So, like,
Oh yeah, that's always been that way.
Yeah, there was one. It could have been an American president quote. Or anyway, this finance guy called Rick Rule, I think, said it. It's like democracy is two wolves and a lamb deciding what's for dinner.
Yeah.
So it's great if you're the two wolves, but if you're the lamb, it's not great. So that's why I sort of, when it comes down to it, like, it seems examples from history, the freest sort of countries have done the best, and probably the best example is United States of America when it first started, because it was maybe it's not the best, but it's an example where there was protections put in against the government. And yeah, I mean, yeah,
It's kind of hard. Yeah, it's either everything is designed or nothing is designed, and we're just designing it as we go. If there's people in charge of the world, then they've been in charge for a very long time, much longer than the American Constitution. It would be centuries old, this lineage of control. So if that exists, then it's existed.
Yeah, you think it's super old?
Yeah.
The old whatever it is, the deep state or whatever.
Or otherwise, maybe it's not controlled at all. I mean, it would seem strange that it kind of just happened recently.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I mean,
wealth gets passed down through generations or whatever, whether it be through, gold and silver back in the day, through all the failed fiat currencies, and just carried over, didn't it, I guess? But I guess I don't know too much about it because they don't want you to know too much about it.
And this is the thing, like, it kind of it's almost not worth discussing, because you're going around in circles and you never get an answer. And I don't know if you get any closer or any further away. It's more, I think, about if you are going to question it to your own moral judgment and to your own belief system, and what you as an individual choose to believe and agree with and align with, so that you can make decisions that work for you when decisions are made on your behalf, or when you're given rules or orders to follow. It's more about how you're going to respond to that based on what you're aligned with.
Yeah, I think, I've seen that philosophy with you. I think it's a good way to approach it. I guess I try to do that, but I also don't like seeing people suffer, so I get a bit upset about it, especially what's happened to our country. It used to be quite a different country in my opinion, and it's kind of fundamentally changed now. But you can only control yourself, really. So it's like, yeah,
I guess that's where I've seen differently, because I think it's exactly the same country that it's been for our lifetime. I think more people are just realizing it now.
You might want to get a little closer to your mic, but something like that. Okay. Yeah, right.
Because for me, like, what's happening doesn't seem shocking at all. There's no surprise. It just kind of feels like, oh, this is how it's always been.
Yeah, I guess people have always had that capacity to people have always been the same. They've had that capacity. It's just more like maybe a realization for me. There has been law, I view the law differently now, and it seems we don't really know what rights we have now. But I think generally our looks good, and I pretty much follow the same thing. I just Just don't like seeing bad things happen. And yeah, we just do what we can to live within it and create the best life well for yourself, align with your values. Which I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the important thing for everyone is to figure out what that is. Like genuinely take the time to figure that out, because I think that's probably going to be what's going to save people, make or break people in the end.
Yep, absolutely. Cool, man. All right, we've talked a lot about this in the intro.
What was your any recent observations?
Should we get on to business? Yeah.
Well, did you have any?
Yeah, I had a realization. A few. I guess one that I've had is like a realization of the sacrifice needed to make bank eventually. Like you're gonna have to sacrifice, any sort of hedonistic sort of, social life, and probably, you can still be social, but I don't, time wise, I think, something's going to change for me now, if I want to get something going, like it's going to involve sacrifice, which is cool. Yeah, it's just a realization. It's an observation. Also, yeah, with my options trading course, so I've had a couple of observations, like so with options trading, like I've realized it's kind of like a business, whereas before I was thinking it was just like, sort of just like an investing sort of gamble to do something. I don't know if you know too much about options trading, but generally it's kind of like selling insurance in a way or something. So you're providing a contract for someone in the market that someone in that market wants to buy it. So you're providing a service in that regard. If you're selling options and people can buy options. So like an example is someone that wants to buy a put option. So they say they own Apple stock at $100, and they're scared that the stock could fall a lot because of some factor or whatever. So they buy a put option with a strike price of $90 or something. So that means when Apple falls past that $90 strike price and it falls lower, they can sell that option at a higher price than it's fallen to, so they don't lose as much money. So it's like insurance in a way. And yeah, so I'm getting into it's a lot. Yeah, it's been like a good learning process. It's a lot to learn. So I've sort of realized that it's actually kind of like a business. You're providing like a service to someone in the way of contracts. I know it's like, it's not a hugely productive, maybe not benefit society as much as other things, but like, yeah, that was just a realization. An exchange of contracts, and just like, someone sells insurance, buys insurance because they think there's a chance something could go wrong in the future. So, yeah. And it's kind of like another observation is, which is kind of like a light bulb moment. If you look at trading stocks, it's kind of like gambling, but options trading is like, if you're selling options, you're the casino, and whoever's buying the options is the gambler. Because there's actually, from what it seems the odds are in your favor when you're selling options, like better than 50-50 chance. So
So I still kind of don't get what your role is in the whole process. Someone has Apple stocks at $100, and then if it drops down, they sell their shares at 90,
yeah, but it could have fallen to like 30.
right?
So they have the right to sell at 90,
Right.
and that saves them losing all that money.
And then what do you do in that process?
Oh, so see, if you're selling that put,
Yeah. So I'm selling my $90 stock.
yeah, it means. Oh wait, what happens? I think it means you have to buy. You have to buy that stock to when it falls to the lowest price. No wait, no, you buy it at the strike price.
Yeah. So
I think. Yeah, but like you're buying that stock at a cheaper price anyway.
So let's say I have stocks that are $100, and I put a put option at $90. So when it drops to 30,
You buy a put, like so you're buying that insurance
right?
sort of thing.
Okay, so you're not right. So I have the stocks, and then someone else says, okay, Luca, I want your stocks. I want your Apple stocks, but I don't want to pay $100. I want to pay 90. So if it falls to 90, I'll buy them at 90.
It's almost like it's not quite that. I think it's more like if I'm selling you a put, if I'm selling you that insurance, I don't think the stock's gonna fall.
So you're selling
the bet
insurance.
I'm making.
You're selling insurance on the stock
Yeah,
if
yeah.
the stock falls past the put price.
yeah. So
Then that person's safe. Or you're buying their stock at 90.
yeah, if it falls below, but the bet that I'm making is that it's not going to fall below.
Gotcha.
And
okay, I'm with it.
so they buy this contract off me, and I'd say there's a 70% chance that it's not going to fall below that strike price. So if the option expires, there's a time period on the auction. If the option expires before it hits that strike price and it hasn't fallen below that strike price, it just means the option expires and I keep the premium that person paid for that contract. So it could be $300 or something.
Right. Gotcha. Okay.
Options contracts are 100 shares per contract.
Yep. Yeah, I'm with it.
So that's cool. Your understanding. It's actually like, I found it a bit complicated again. Maybe I explained it good.
Oh yeah, I'm sure the finer details are more complex, but yeah, I get the idea.
Yeah. I think the insurance analogy is kind of good. So yeah. So basically, someone's paid me for this contract. It's less risk than buying stocks because I'm only paying $200 for a contract instead of $20,000 for the stock. So there's less exposure for me. And then, yeah, and the chances are you can assess the chances that it's not going to hit that strike price. So I just pocket it. And if it does go past that strike price, yeah, I think it's like, you have to buy it as a seller, but essentially you're just buying cheaper stock. So, yeah.
You're buying cheaper than it was, but it's still more expensive than it currently is because it's dropped below the put.
I can't remember if you buy at the strike or where it finishes. I think you buy it at the strike.
Well, I mean, that would make sense, right?
I'm a bit confused. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, so, yeah, that was a good realization for me. I can see how people make money from it now, which is cool. And
it's certainly a stream of income, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's probably going to be a pretty solid one once I get it going. I mean,
unless you have a stock market crash.
You can see Henry, the teacher's trading account's like $2 million at the moment.
Yeah, right.
And it's all he does, I think, pretty much. He's just like dedicated his life to this and dedicated to, like, he's retired pretty much, but he just loves teaching and everything. So good dude. So anyone out there, it's Options Investor Academy. Henry Moldavsky, I think. Yeah, his YouTube channel is Invest with Henry, and he's just like just options guy and options pro, but he's just really down to earth dude that wants to teach people. So get onto it. Everybody knows keen. I got a good deal through the some Caleb Jones referrals, so I paid a really cheap price, which is cool. But yeah, have a look. So yeah, man. Anything else you want to share? And we can go into any progress in the current courses you've had, or
yeah, I guess my progress necessarily would be focused around more the personal side of things. Still working on the personal growth, decluttering of what's going on on the inside, and then I think in maybe this week or next week I need to get back into business.
Yep. It's good you're balancing it out.
Yeah,
I think I need to do more of that. So,
had a bit of a break, but yeah, I'm feeling like it's.
You been meditating? I got to get back into meditating.
No, I haven't been.
I've always found it really good, but yeah, it kind of dropped off.
I've been writing down my
dreams. A lot of people say that. Dream journal.
Yeah, dream journal.
You're a bloody dreamer, Luca.
Every day, apparently.
You've been doing it every day?
Yeah. Today's the first day when I woke up. I actually woke up earlier and then I didn't journal. Fell back asleep, woke up. You have to do it as soon as you wake up, I realize. Like,
yeah,
even if you give it a few seconds, as soon as you have like that first thought about something else, it disappears.
Yeah. Even would you do it if you wake up in the middle of the night?
I have been, yeah.
Yeah, right. Then you go back to sleep.
Yeah, because then I have another dream.
Yeah, dreams. I could probably tell you a lot about what's going on for sure.
Yeah, I saw this.
You've got a dream guy, don't you?
I don't have
dream
a dream
guy or girl.
Dream guy.
Like I just imagine you seeing someone that is a dream analyst.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. My neighbor, I did
hilarious.
some prune to a tree, and she mentioned that she was doing
psychotherapist.
I think it was psychotherapy, and
that's cool. I was thinking more like a specific someone that works as a dream analyst or something.
Well, I think that's part of her role.
Yeah.
Or was. And she's.
This happened by chance though. You didn't seek her out or anything.
No.
It's cool.
Yeah, it was just a bit of a mutual thing. And yeah, so she's giving me some books on psychology, Carl Jung. So we've been doing a bit of reading up on that, which has been interesting. Even just the books have been pretty insightful.
He's pretty badass, Jung. I haven't really read this stuff. Heard a lot of people talk about it.
Yeah, some people are about him.
Insights.
Some people like him, some people don't. So it's it's
that concept of the shadow or something.
That's what's really.
Yeah, so you've learnt about that.
Well, the book that I'm reading, it's just an introduction.
Yeah,
and then
cool.
I've got another one which is more in depth.
I want to look into that.
So yeah.
I don't even know. Can you explain what it is? Generally? The shadow, the concept.
So I think it's the persona, the anima, and the shadow, and there's one more. I'm gonna be in trouble now. I don't think it's the ego, but it's basically combining like all of these four factors individuate themselves, so they all have their own personality, if you want to kind of say that,
within one person sort of thing.
And then the idea is to try and integrate those. Talks about yeah, there's the psychic energy or the psyche has this energy that flows. So it has energy that comes from our external energy sources. So from your environment, from your experiences that come into the psyche, and then the psyche transfers that energy to one of those personalities, and one might become dominant over the others, and then that energy might move to another one. And it's about learning. I mean, the ideal situation would be to have them all working together. And it does talk about that, if they were all harmonized, then there would be it would sort of be stagnant if they didn't move. So I guess maybe the point is, I haven't read enough about it, but the point might be that it's always in fluctuation, I would guess, at some point, and that just becomes circumstantial, I would say.
Can it be harmonized? Can they be harmonized?
I think, from the introductory book, which is written by someone else about Carl Jung and his ideas, they were saying that, this harmonization is sort of expressed through ideas like Buddha or Jesus or something like that. So these spiritual people who've found a way to harmonize these different things. So I think persona is the mask that people put on when they're dealing with society, more of a civilized type, whereas the shadow would be the opposite, and is more the instinctual, maybe more primitive, maybe not necessarily primitive, but more of the nature of the individual. And then anima is for men, and the anima is the female side of them, and then animus is women who have their masculine or male side, which is the opposite. I can't remember what the fourth one is, but the opposite to that.
Interesting.
So it's pretty fascinating.
All rings true to me. I mean,
so it's I think the shadow is calling
for you.
Yeah.
You got to nurture that shadow. So you maybe straighten your mic. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. So you got to nurture the shadow.
I think nurturing the shadow. A lot of the things I'm doing at the moment seem to be directed in that way.
Yeah. Cool. Hopefully that leads to making some bank.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice, man. Well, you've done a philosophical course, Jungian philosophical course.
Yeah, why not? Let's say a crash course in Jungian ideas.
Jungian philosophy. Cool, man. Yeah. I guess courses.
Book here, actually.
Read a passage. Courses for myself. Yeah, I've smashed out half my options trading course. So a primer of Jungian psychology. I like it. It's a short one. Get into that.
Yeah.
Can I read it after you?
Yeah, for sure.
Sick. Give us a little taster.
All right. Let's we'll keep going. I'll try and find something in the meantime.
I'll talk about my course progress. So option trading course, invest with Henry. Good stuff. I'm halfway through. Learned a lot. And I'm very excited about laying some trades down. And it's going to be cool. It's a good community, lots of feedback, Discord group. Zoom calls are good. Henry's super cool, answering questions and everything. And just, hopefully it'll take me to a location independent income, which is my goal. How are you traveling?
Maybe we'll leave it. I'll find something. All right, you've got here.
Just read like the first few words of the intro or something.
Some archetypes are of such great importance in shaping our personality and behavior that Jung devoted special attention to them. These are the persona, the anima and animus, the shadow, and the self.
Cool.
Described below. Although archetypes are separate structures in the collective unconsciousness, they can form combinations. For example, if the hero archetype combines with the demon archetype, the result could be a ruthless leader type of person. Or if the magic and birth archetypes blend together, the result could be a fertility magician found in some primitive cultures.
Fertility magician.
Yeah. Since archetypes are capable of interacting with each other in various combinations, this also becomes a factor in producing personality differences among individuals. Then that goes through different types of archetypes, but yeah. So it's the self was the fourth one. Persona, self, shadow, anima, and animus.
Yeah, cool.
Anima and animus, them being relative to male or female.
Yeah, I'm really interested. I should have read Jung, but I haven't. Did your psychotherapist, or I'm not sure what she is, but did she give you like a framework after reading that or anything, like to apply it?
I think the intention was to read the books and then write down my dreams, and then if there was a dream that I wanted to discuss, we'd work on breaking it down.
Yeah, and now that you're aware of those archetypes, whatever, you could just think about it, your dreams and all that.
Yeah, and think about what they mean. I've always seen them as signs or thoughts, but she's saying it's more of your mind deconstructing information input that you get and then piecing it together. So, whether it's things that it's unconscious things as well. So things that you might see, but you might not consciously pick up. It's just there as an unconscious thing. If you're walking through a supermarket and you're looking at all these products, you might just be looking for bread, and you'll walk down the aisle and you'll see all these things and all these labels and all these brands and everything, but you might not acknowledge them because none of them are bread, but you'll still see them. So you're still unconsciously taking in that information.
Yeah.
And then it might pop up in your dreams and you might say, oh, well, I've never seen this before. I've never heard of this before. But it appears, and then you go back to the supermarket and you see this product and it's there and you're like, oh, there's a coincidence, but you've already seen it, just unconsciously you've seen it.
So you've seen it in your dreams first, or was it the other way around?
Well, I'm just saying it's more to the point that your dreams will include unconscious input, things that have
from
unconsciously,
the real world, from the physical world, yep.
And I think it's to do with what's going internally in terms of your emotions as well. So you went to that David Goggins event, and he was saying that he spends 2 hours every night meditating.
2 hours,
yeah.
Right.
Nice. And he was basically saying that it's him and his mind filing everything in order, like categorizing things and putting things into the place.
That's a good way to do it when you're meditating, yeah.
So I guess that's his use for that. And I think perhaps dreaming does the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not 100%, but yeah,
it's organising.
This is my current understanding, and
I'd say so. Yeah. It's got to serve a purpose. It's probably that. So
It'd be
a
interesting to see
combination
how
of
we go.
things. Yeah, interesting, man. Yeah, you'll have to update us on that book
So
and progress.
yeah, in terms of new skills, I'd say that'd be a new skill. Learning how to decipher my dreams.
Yeah, nice. That's cool. Yeah, cool. Any news? Well, yeah, that's the one you're working on and that you want to do. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess I'm trying to work on all of them at the same time. It's
Any skills business wise?
business skills. I'd like to get the advertising off the ground, but now it's almost. Now I'm wondering if advertising.
You still thinking about doing the ad agency?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm wondering if advertising outwardly in the way that it's traditionally done is the way to go, or if there's another way to do it. I guess my idea was to advertise business owners who have the mentality where they grow everything organically, in terms of their business grows organically, word of mouth and that kind of thing. And I guess these are generally the people that don't advertise. You know, the people that I know are people that don't advertise. They kind of advertise themselves, but they also have a kind of like have the mentality of not wanting to advertise.
If you have a really good business, you don't need to advertise, I guess, as well, isn't it? Well, technically, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, they use examples. It's funny because in the business courses that I've been doing, they use Coca-Cola and Apple as an example. And, you know, I think Coca-Cola spends, I think it was like, I don't know, 16 or $30 billion a year on advertising. Apple spend like maybe half that or something. But yeah.
A shitload.
Yeah, they were saying that in terms of taste, when they do blind tasting, people choose Pepsi over Coke. But Coke is just a more heavily branded and advertised business. So more people drink it. So yeah, it's a lot of things, you know, McDonald's. They don't necessarily have the best burgers, but they're the most advertised and they're everywhere.
Yeah.
So convenience and everything like that, it plays a part rather than quality.
Coolness, the vibe of the whole place, anything, yeah, there's heaps of factors, I guess. Yeah.
So yeah, I guess the people who don't advertise, you know, are they?
Could you do a different way of advertising for them or something like that?
Well, yeah, maybe that's the outlook as well. I mean, I was talking to my natural doctor today, and his example, he used an example of Coca-Cola, which was, you know, we were talking about people who advertise themselves, you know, and we were saying greatness doesn't have to advertise. Foolishness advertises all the time. So, you know, Coca-Cola is not a good product in itself. It's not good for you. But it's advertised so heavily. So it's the option that people might prefer to go to. I mean, it is satisfying in a way, you know, it satisfies the taste buds.
Yeah. So are you looking at that example as a successful sort of thing or just something you want to emulate? Or?
I mean, I think people that are trying to do good things seem to have less ability to showcase what they're doing or advertise what they're doing. It seems to be like a very smaller, like Coca-Cola is the biggest company, one of the biggest companies in the world, but their product is like, apart from flavor, is really no good for you in any other way, or for society or for the environment.
Yeah.
So
it's like a net negative maybe.
Yeah. and maybe that's why it's the most heavily advertised, because you have to convince people to get it. You know, whereas things that are good for people generally stay away from. You have to try a lot harder to push people to do those things.
I wonder what if you had a different drink with Coke's advertising budget. Like if you just gave some little company
Right.
Coke's advertising budget.
Yeah.
I wonder what, maybe it's for like coconut water, what we're drinking now or whatever, you know, and they just like advertise the shit out of it. I wonder what the results would be.
Yeah.
They definitely get more sales. I don't know if it get up to the same level as Coke, but
I mean, if you pulled that money together
if you be able to, you know, meet the demand with supply
and aimed for clean water suppliers and filtered water.
Yeah.
If you use that same budget to do it, maybe more people would be drinking water, filtered water.
Yeah. It's a weird one, Coke. Hey, I mean, it's probably the addictive element that gets people. Sugar addictive, caffeine's addictive, but
yeah, it is highly addictive.
I can't remember the last time I had a Coke. I probably had like one in the last 15 years or something.
I was saying that yesterday. I met someone who works at Coca-Cola. So
yeah, right.
They work in the sustainability department.
Sustainable.
Yeah, sustainability for Coca-Cola.
Like environmental.
Yeah, I think it's the side of
that's sustaining health.
I'm not sure that it's health. I think it's more how can they change as a business to be more
like business sustainability and not
environmental sustainability within the business.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right. What they have to say?
I think the some of the ideas were just a difference in processes of how they do some internal things. Might be as simple as tap water usage.
Yeah, waste.
All that kind of thing.
Yeah, why not? Absolutely, they should do it.
We didn't go too deep into it, but yeah, it's...
you can recycle Coke bottles, can't you? Yeah.
Well, yeah, it depends where you are in the world. I know in Sweden you can take your plastic bottles to the supermarket, and as long as it's got the barcode on the like the labels on it, you just put it through the machine and it scans the barcode, and you get a krona for it. And you can use the money at the store. So the more plastic you recycle, the more.
It's
I
very
think
cool.
cans and bottles.
Yeah, I remember doing that. It's cool. Yeah, is it the government buying those or is it private companies?
Can't tell you. I don't know.
Yeah, it's cool though. Yeah, nice, man. So, what business idea are you leaning towards now? 'Cause you've got the bookstore, and
it's still integrating everything. Still finding.
You got your circular sustainable business idea. Which one are you going to go for? What are you betting on?
Well, I think one's aimed around health, one's aimed around skills, and one's aimed around.
You could just do a video program, man.
Like longevity.
Just do a video course.
Like nature longevity.
That could work, right?
How do you mean a video course?
You just do short video course, overview, basics. You could do archery. You could do the whole food, the eating thing, the meal plan, the horse riding. I mean, you can get other experts to help you in those videos and stuff. And
well, yeah, that's the plan. The plan is to
and then,
have every expert in their field provide the knowledge in that field.
Yeah, and then once you've got some interest in the course, you could do make it a bit of a community, get a Discord going or something, and then you could do real life sessions every once a quarter or something.
Yeah. Well, there was the video.
You call it Circular Nature Live or something
I like it.
every quarter.
Well, yeah. I mean, you got to roll with the seasons, don't you? So quarterly works.
Mm. You could do it in real life. You know, video course. I don't know. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, for the course, I was thinking of you'd have the video, let's say, tying a knot, tying a bowline. You tie a bowline in the video, and then the student watches the video. They have to record a video of them tying the knot, then using the knot in a real life scenario, and then teaching the knot to someone else. So I think those 3 things, and then you basically assess the videos. I'd have to find a way to...
They'd have to record themselves
and send
cool.
it in. So you just upload, you'd have 3 sections
so
where
you'd have
they can upload a video.
assessments.
So yeah, so I think that would be the best way to check people's progress. Because people might watch the video, but if there's no accountability...
Yeah. I mean, you can do like a quiz in the course, but like you could actually ask them to send in proof.
Yeah. I think one of them tying it is good because it shows that they can do it. Using it in a real life scenario shows that they can actually use it in a situation, and that they can what's the word? Show an understanding where they've integrated it.
Yeah.
And then teaching it to someone else.
Why it's used.
Yeah.
Why this benefits society.
Well, why it why you chose this not to do this task shows the knowledge and understanding. And then teaching things to other people is a good way to reinforce the new skill that you've learnt. So getting them to teach it to someone else, and that person being able to tie it correctly.
Absolutely.
Is a good way.
How have knots benefited the world? You can get deep on knots.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you've got 10 students and each of those 10 students have to teach someone how to tie a knot, then you've just taught an extra 10 people.
Cool. So have you got a time frame for starting a business?
Yeah, these are all just ideas.
Are you going to do this by the end of the year, or are you going to do baby steps and get the ball rolling? Or
yeah, I probably need someone. I need probably someone giving me some...
Oh, you need another mentor.
I need another accountability. Someone that just calls me every day.
Discipline mentor.
Yeah. Say, have you started yet? What are you doing?
You should get David Goggins to call you. And you just say, don't be a bitch.
Just every morning.
Stay hard. Yeah, maybe just record Goggins' voice and set it as your alarm.
No, because then if I meet him, I'll
hate
him.
Make a decision.
If I meet him, I'll hate him straight away just because the sound of his voice will annoy me. But
you're going to have to deal with annoying voices in business.
That's true, but the annoying voice that wakes me up every morning, that's not a voice I'd want to hear any other time of the day.
You'll get there, man. You. The important thing is you're thinking about it.
Well, yeah, Mr. Andrew Tate would say otherwise. You make quick decisions.
Make shit happen.
Momentum. Massive and immediate action. Sansoni.
Science. So, you going to do it?
I'm going to do it. I just need to do it.
Yeah. I'm trying to think when... I think maybe within 3 months you could get a ball rolling.
Maybe I could do it over winter. So
yeah.
Lots of rain days. I mean, not that matters. Usually still have to work, so it doesn't really help.
I mean, you have when I was staying with you, it was, you were making calls for your earplug idea and everything, and you were getting balls rolling, but the balls stopped, didn't they?
Yeah, I think I get crushed quite
easily.
Like
a fence.
I get My
The inspiration gets crushed.
not inspiration. It's a different word. What is it? My conviction. I have no conviction.
Yeah, right. The conviction gets crushed.
Yeah, it's you get that. Then you get
Just
those
cool.
questions.
Just fine.
Are you doing it for the right reasons? Is this a good thing to do? Are people going to benefit from it? Is this a selfish thing? You know what? It's just, you know, you don't know anything about ears. It's kind of, you know, it's just, yeah. It's all these ideas. Just then you get that that voice that starts questioning everything, and that voice keeps winning. But I'm not giving up, so I'll just keep trying.
Well, you just want to
Keep
choose a
pushing
good
back.
idea, right? So you're
Well, I think they're all good ideas. This is the problem.
you're making short lists, hopefully.
No, they're all good.
You've got a long list at the moment. You
There's-
got to funnel that down. To a
Because
short
I
list.
filter out the bad ideas. I know which ones are
So
bad.
you've already filtered them out.
I've already filtered them out.
So you
All
have a
these
short
ones.
list.
Well, yeah, the ones that I've mentioned.
Yeah, sick.
They're all
Well.
good ideas. I need someone to. Yeah, it's too much to learn to do all those things. So I need to find people who can help me do it. That's
Outsource someone to release your inner bitch.
That's what I need. I need the shadow. It's time to release the shadow.
I'm sure you could pay someone to, you know, get you going.
Just need someone to beat me up, kick the shit out of me.
Jocko. Cool, man.
But you got any new business skills or skills?
No, I mean, yeah, I'm focused on the options and the digital marketing course, sales funnels. But I keep thinking about, I've got to reiterate the point of my my subscription library kind of gentleman's club idea. Well, maybe not gentleman's club, just like cigar lounge. I think that'd be sick. But
I want to be a part of it.
I've talked about this before, but I'll explain it quickly again. So, you know, I'm thinking, you know, a kind of like a tax-free sort of business-friendly place like Dubai. It'd be a subscription library where people they pay a fee for a highly a curated selection of books, really specialized, and it'll be a place, just a sanctuary where they can go, they can learn, they can study, they can just have peace, and be nice, rich mahogany environment. There'll be a full-time librarian there, just making it happen. And, you know, in the back of the place, so the front of the place would be a quiet place, and then you'd have a cigar lounge in the back, some glass doors and stuff, glass walls, and maybe a little bar, maybe no bar, just a place where people can smoke cigars, have a chat, yeah, network a bit of a sanctuary.
Yeah,
You like it?
I love it.
Nice. One day we'll do that. I've got to get some location independent cash flow going.
And apparently,
Combining my
there's
two
no,
things, my rental property, and hopefully that works out. Then I'll start this in Dubai. Brick and mortar though, you know, not ideal, but still good. I mean, depends.
You don't want to do it
Depends
soon.
on your situation. Yeah, it's going to be down the track.
Apparently, Cuba had some floods or something, some storms, and they're not making any cigars this year. I heard.
Oh, really? Bugger. Have to get Nicaraguan, Dominican Republic, Mexican.
I think people are buying up limited edition stock. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, we're cigar fans here on this podcast, so Yeah, we might smoke one after, right?
Yeah, well, see how we're going. I think dinner's on the cards.
Mm.
That's a priority for me.
We're probably pushing a bit over an hour now. Yeah. So, okay, what else you want to chat about? We got. Oh yeah. Any comments on current macro situation, finance, markets, and everything? No.
Not from me. No, I haven't really been keeping an ear out to any new news.
Cool. Yeah. One thing I want to mention is more banks going under. First Republic Bank in America lost 97% of its stock value. Pretty much worthless. And I think JP Morgan's going to buy it. I think there was some push for the FDIC, the kind of the insurance arm of the government that insures the banks or whatever, to take it over, but it's pretty much done. And I think one of the big banks is going to buy it on the cheap. So the dominoes keep on kind of falling. Bad economic times. Lots of debt, lots of leverage, lots of derivatives in the a lot of leverage derivatives out there, and could all come crashing down. So keep an eye on it.
Yeah, I think
Argentina's running at super high inflation. Bunch of countries are running. I think Argentina's borderline like hyperinflation. But yeah, a few things to take note of. Yeah, what were you saying, sir?
Yeah, I think there's something has happened in the last couple of days that's probably changed some big news. So, I mean, was this just recently?
This was last couple of days. First Republic Bank. I heard the news in Argentina, like the inflation's stepped up a notch.
Yeah.
Big time stepped up a notch. Because you got countries, like Turkey, they're running at like, I can't remember, maybe like 30% or something or more. And yeah, so just got to keep an eye on it. Try and do our best.
Yeah, I think there was a turning point in the last couple of days, which might have been big. I don't know what the news is, but
You felt a vibe shift?
I think there just is a vibe shift.
There's a general big vibe shift. Maybe like a micro vibe shift you felt.
Maybe a micro little earthquake.
Yeah, I think so. Australia-wise, what's happened in Australia? There's probably more bullshit that I've heard regarding financial decisions. Something with the Reserve Bank. There was something I can't remember. Maybe next podcast we'll talk about it. Something happened with the RBA, like they didn't own up to something. Or anyway, next time. All right. Goals for next week.
Goals for next week. Keep plugging away. There's nothing in particular, just keep moving. Maybe less time on the phone. That's going to be my goal. As little time on the phone as necessary.
You use Instagram a lot, eh? You should try putting it on your computer, just using it on the computer.
It is, yeah, it's on there. And I deleted it and then realized it was my only point of contact for some people.
Oh, right, yeah.
So I've changed that now.
Put it back on your phone.
So now I can put it back. I can just get it off my phone now, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And then just have it on the computer.
I don't see a problem of having it on your phone. It's just like sometimes you get in that hole where it's just like because it's like one of those apps, they call them like endless apps or whatever. You can just keep scrolling. That's the problem with it. In general, it's, Instagram's okay.
Yeah, there's just there's a lot of things that I need to learn and read and do. And I just really don't have the time to do it anymore. Not that I had time to scroll before, but now it's
Maybe
coming
prioritizing.
down to crunch time.
I got to do that this week as well. Prioritize. I got to meditate more, and I got to get better at discipline and mental sort of clarity. So that's my kind of goals for the week. And should we wrap it up? Wrap it up there.
Yeah, I mean, and to the audience, I guess once again, if there's anyone out there,
yeah, tell us what you think. Tell us if we have good or shit ideas. Join the community. It's on YouTube now. I put the first episode up, so I'll put the second and third on YouTube, and I'll get it on Rumble so you can comment.
Yeah, anything that you like or don't like, anything that you thought was interesting, anything that you want us to expand on. Leave a comment.
Absolutely. Let us know. All right, signing off. Thanks for listening, everyone. Cheers, bro. See you next week.